At 3:14 a.m., the world came to an end. Or it ought to have anyway. For 45 years, people threw stones at shadows while living in a glass house. We refer to it as the Cold War because the atmosphere was boiling and the blood never lingered on the ground. We were just one anxious radar operator, one group of geese misidentified as missiles, or one damaged phone line away from the sun literally going extinct. Most people think of the Cold War as a game of chess, but it was actually a game of Russian roulette played with a fully loaded gun. Today, we aren't just looking at history. We are stepping into the ashes of the world that almost was. We are looking at the timeline where the red telephone went dead, the restraint snapped, and the world turned into a second sun. This is the story of World War III, the war that was planned, rehearsed, and nearly executed. Point 1. The broken arrow, the moment of impact. Suspense doesn't always start with a declaration of war. Often, it starts with a mistake. On October 27, 1962, a Soviet B-59 submarine was trapped deep in the Sargasso Sea. US destroyers were dropping practice depth charges, essentially grenades, to force it to the surface. Inside the sub, the air was running out. The carbon dioxide levels were so high the crew was losing consciousness. They hadn't heard from Moscow in days. Captain Valentin Savitsky believed the war had already started on the surface. He ordered the crew to arm the 10-kiloton nuclear torpedo. In our timeline, a man named Vasily Arkhipov refused to give his consent, saving the world. But in this timeline, the heat and the panic win. The torpedo is fired. The tension. A US aircraft carrier vanishes in a pillar of radioactive spray. There is no undo button for a nuclear torpedo. Within seconds, the US Atlantic Fleet retaliates with depth charges that actually carry nuclear tips. The tripwire has snapped. The dominoes are falling faster than any human can stop them. Point 2. The 26-minute window. From the moment a Soviet ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile, leaves its silo in the snowy plains of Siberia, the US president has exactly 26 to 30 minutes to decide if humanity deserves to exist. This is the use it or lose it dilemma. If the president wants to confirm the hit, his own missiles might be destroyed in their silos. Imagine the Minuteman crews in North Dakota. They live in bunkers 60 feet underground, sitting in swivel chairs for 24-hour shifts. They hold two keys. To launch, they must turn them simultaneously. The suspense. In our scenario, the orders come through the gold code biscuits. The keys turn. Thousands of tons of steel and liquid fire scream into the atmosphere. Within 15 minutes, the sky over the North Pole is crowded with hundreds of warheads passing each other in the dark, silent, cold messengers of the apocalypse. You wouldn't see them coming. You wouldn't hear them. You would just look up and see a shooting star that was actually the end of your civilization. Point 3. The Fulda Gap's the meat grinder of Europe. While the missiles are in space, the ground war explodes in the heart of Germany. There is a place called the Fulda Gap, a narrow lowland corridor that was the most dangerous 40 miles on Earth. The Soviet 7 days to the River Rhine plan was a nightmare of mechanical force. Imagine 50,000 tanks and 2 million soldiers charging across the border. NATO's strategy wasn't to win it, was to hold them back just long enough for the politicians to talk. The detailed horror, but the talking is over. As NATO forces are pushed back toward the Rhine, they face the ultimate choice: surrender Europe or use tactical nukes. These are the small bomb suitcase-sized mines and short-range rockets. They detonate them on West German soil to stop the tank advance. The very land they were sworn to protect becomes a radioactive crater. In this timeline, Europe becomes a graveyard before the first day is even over. Point 4. The blackout, the EMP pulse. Before the first bomb hits a city, something else happens. Something silent. This is the EMP elecnetic pulse. Both sides detonate high-altitude nuclear warheads 200 miles up in the atmosphere. The resulting gamma radiation hits the Earth's magnetic field and creates a massive surge of electricity. The chaos phones die. Computers vanish. Cars with electronic ignitions stall in the middle of the highway. the power grid collapses instantly. If you were watching the news, the screen goes to static. If you were calling your family, the line goes dead. You are left in total, terrifying silence, looking at a black sky, waiting for the second sun to rise. This is the moment society breaks. No police, no hospitals, no internet. Just the dark. Point 5. The deadliest weapon, the smoke. The explosions are the clean part of the war. The real killer is what comes next, the nuclear winter. If 100 major cities are targeted, the resulting firestorms would pump 150 million tons of soot into the stratosphere. This soot doesn't wash away with rain. It stays there for years. Within weeks, a black shroud covers the Earth, blocking 70% of the sunlight. The curiosity, what happens when the sun goes away? Temperatures drop by 20 C even in the summer. In the Midwestern US and the Ukrainian steppes, the breadbaskets of the world, crops freeze and die in the fields. The billions who survived the initial blasts now face a slow, agonizing reality: global famine. In this world, a single can of peaches is worth more than a bar of gold. History stops being written because there is no one left to read it. Point 6. The shadow survivors, the Great Regression. What does the world look like 5 years after the hot war? Scientists call it the Great Regression. Without a central government, a power grid, or a functioning economy, humanity reverts to a primitive state. Large cities like New York, Moscow, and London are no-go zones, concrete skeletons where the radiation remains lethal. The detail survivors would likely migrate toward the southern hemisphere, places like New Zealand, Australia, or Argentina, which might escape the heaviest fallout. But even there, the global shadow would mean a life of subsistence farming. The age of technology would be a myth told to children around campfires. You would be the last generation to remember what a smartphone or an airplane was. Point 7. The silent victory. We often look at history and count the dead. We count the fallen in we, the victims of the plague, the casualties of revolutions. But the Cold War is unique. Its greatest achievement isn't a conquest, a monument, or a territory. Its greatest achievement is a zero. Zero nuclear weapons fired in anger since 1945. Zero direct battles between the US and the USSR. We stayed on the edge of the abyss for 5 decades, and somehow, against every human instinct for tribalism and violence, we didn't jump. The final thought. The story of the Cold War isn't just a story of weapons and spies, it's a story of restraint. It's a reminder that even when we have the power to destroy the world, we still have the choice to save it. The line held. The hot war remained a ghost story. And because of that, you are here today to listen to this. The greatest victory of the Cold War was the war that never happened. Because in World War III, there are no winners, only the living envying the dead. We are lucky to be living in the history that survived. If this journey into the war that never was gripped you, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of our past. Let me know in the comments which what-if scenario we should explore next. Thanks for watching and stay curious.